Hello everybody, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. And if I miss some, then let me know, and then I'll cover them in the next week, and the next week. But before we do, I have some new patrons to thank. Huge shout out to all of my newest patrons. Beth, the Shobo, Kawaka, Brett, Paul, and Near. Thank you so much for jumping on board, supporting the channel. Hugely appreciated. And just in time, too, because you're ready for the first giveaway! For those of you who didn't tune in last week, shame on you. But Into the AM, you know Into the AM, it's a company I can't shut up about. Instead of Black Friday, they have Black November. I love their stuff. I think their stuff is really great, super great quality. I'm wearing one of their t-shirts right now, and I always find that their graphic tees never wear out. I put them in the wash and in the dryer a ton, and they're still really good quality. I love their Henleys. They're so soft. And so they've switched over to a referral code program. So if you want to get 10% off, you can use the code SlipperyJim. This is not a sponsored ad from them, but through that referral program, they sent me an email and were like, hey, because you've sold X amount of dollars for the referral program, here's a bunch of $25 coupon codes. Do whatever you want with them. And at first, my first instinct was, well, I want to use them and get more clothing. But then I thought, no, I want to give back to my community as well. And so every week, I'm going to do this every week. We're going to draw a name from my patrons. And if you're signed up for Patreon, you're automatically entered. And if you don't like it, well, then we'll roll it over to the next one. So that's what we're going to do. We've got the wheel of names here, and I'm going to draw one every week. And then there's no action items for you on Patreon. I'll just send you a message. But yeah, I put in everybody's name, and depending upon the tier, you got some extra entries. So we're going to see who's going to win this week. Do I have to click to stop? No, it's slowing down. It's slowing down. It's slowing down. It's stopping. Sapphire! Sapphire! Congratulations, Sapphire. I'll get you a $25 code into your messaging on Patreon. That's awesome. Oh, that was so fun. I want to do it again. Okay, let's do it again. I have extras. Let's do one more. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, who else? Who else? We're doing 2 for 1. Won't be 2 every time. I don't have that many coupons. Michael Snow! Michael Snow and Sapphire, you're both going to get 25 bucks into your Patreon inbox, and I will do that when this video comes out. And if I don't, you can send me a message. But yeah, I just want to do that. I think it'll be a fun way to thank my Patreon community. Running a board game channel is an enormous amount of work, especially as you're trying to sort of meld multiple jobs together, as has been my life for the past 4.5 years, almost 5 years. And it makes a meaningful difference in my life and actively allows me to keep on creating content and trying to be the best resource that I can be, while hopefully making you laugh just once. I only promise one single laugh. And if you've already gotten that, well, don't expect any more. But yeah, I just want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon community. It's awesome. Of course, thanks to everybody for liking, subscribing, and watching, etc. But those who go the extra mile, I just really want to celebrate. So there's some gift codes for you. All right, let's get into the week. Well, let's get into the week. We've got a big week happening here. Oh, I gotta change this to English. Not Deutsch. Spearhead. First, we're gonna start off with Netherwatch, which I definitely missed last week. Shout out again to the Patreon community for reminding me and telling me that I deserve a spanking because I'm so naughty and missed this one. But this is a cooperative horror deduction board game with escalating supernatural tension. It's by MJ Designs, which I also think are the people who brought you Hexplorit, the big Hexplorit system. That's been their main title, and so this is a deviation from that title, and we're going to check it out. I'm sure there will be late pledges as well. Oh, it's in the end game, or is the end game done? End game must be done by now. I don't even know what day it is. It's the 16th? It's going through old email. Triggering! All right, let's watch this video. Cool, the theming of this seems neat. I remember some people in the Discord not being too overwhelmed by the gameplay, but yeah, I like deduction games. 2 stages for each mission. First, players must investigate and deduce the demon's identity while managing their sanity and avoiding deadly manifestations. Then they must perform a high-stakes banishment ritual or escape before the demon claims them. With unique agent abilities, unpredictable adversaries, and escalating tensions, Netherwatch blends strategic deduction, survival horror, intense cooperation, and an intensely enjoyable gaming experience. I really like the pitch. But will the rules be fun? Core mechanics. The real-world lore. Not a mechanic. Deduction, there you go. Strategic analysis. Oh, perfect. I hate having games that don't give me any strategic analysis. That's neat. Yeah, you basically have a fact-finding stage, and then when you reveal the state, you go to the end game. Okay, when the event deck runs out, you can't kill the demon, you have to find the escape route. The escape route is going to be layered by a number of different tiles that you're picking up and have to put together like a puzzle. Don't like that the reveal content was in a separate thing. Like, that's just the stretch goals. Be $100 Canadian just for the base pledge. They're leaning really heavily on the theme, which I don't mind, but I often find like super heavy theme leaving can sometimes obfuscate a lack of gameplay. Not always though, but it's also tough too because you're assembling 12 demon vaults and then presumably you know the contents of these demon vaults. Like they said you'd have a big 60-page book as well, but then you'll figure out the puzzles. So this feels like it might be more one time than, or 12 times I should say, completely replayable. Oh no, there is a random component there. That's good. Agents have 2 condition states, frightened and crowdfunding countdown. Sorry, breakdown. This setup is extraordinary. It's half of the rulebook of just breaking down what everything means. And normally, I'm usually able to skip the setup portion of a rulebook and just kind of jump to the meat of the actions, but not for something like this. I've been burned by deduction games before, Among Cultists being one of them. Not reading through the setup and seeing that it was just overly complicated nonsense. So that's why I'm really trying to read through it here. And it's just a lot of things, right? I really like that you're getting a randomized map. You're doing a nice version in terms of randomizing everything. It's a lot of randomization to try to make sure that you have a deduction puzzle to do every time. Definitely a lot. And I'm hoping the juice is worth the squeeze. Cool. So you're going to be going through each room and trying to light it, or you might have something like a flashlight to illuminate your own person as well. So there's a bit of board management in that capacity. You'll always start out with light though. 18 pages of setup of a 28-page rulebook. If you stay in dark, you have to roll sanity die. That makes sense. When you draw and resolve an event card for the demon, they'll be dormant and active side. You're supposed to not read the dormant or the active side as well. There's a lot of stuff like that where it's also like, oh, by the way, don't take it out of the sleeve. Not that you would take it out of a sleeve. And capacity or whatever. There's different actions you can take depending upon the state of the demon. Drawing art, items, regaining your sanity, running, discard a clue. How do you get clues? Pick up a clue. You can always go back to HQ to get more stuff. Really, the investigate is going to be where you're using your field equipment. I assume you're using your field equipment to get information. Each event card offers potential hints about the demon's trait. Consider the following possibilities. A roll of the sanity die. Was that chill down your spine just fear? Or the presence of an ethereal entity brushing past you? Perhaps it was caused by a low guttural growl indicating something far more bestial is near. This is, it could be this. It could be this. Like, is there a list? Is there a list of stuff? Where, like, is this it? Where, like, it's sanity. Oh, okay, so I rolled a sanity die. That gives me information, right? Like it should, but it says not every occurrence is directly tied to the demon. The event deck combines generic and demon-specific cards, meaning some effects are red herring. Cross-reference the observed patterns with the gathered clues to determine the demon's true nature. Sure. So there's slight hints, maybe, but maybe not. And that's why you can't look at the back of cards because they're colored differently. Are you kidding me? Like where? There's like 2 pages on deduction in apparently a deduction game. Are you freaking kidding me? It's like, just go to the big codex. Where's the friggin' codex? Are you kidding me right now? I'm so mad. I'm so mad right now. I've been reading this for like 40 minutes and it just boils down to like demons will drop clues. How are they going to drop clues? Event cards will spawn people out. Event cards will make demons happen. You'll have to keep rolling your sanity die. There'll be clues on the ground. You got to use those clues and then go to the codex to solve the clues. But all of the clues are sort of based upon the demon vault of what you've put in there, how you can cross-check things. So therefore based off of the event cards. Are you kidding me? I think this is the definition of the juices not worth the squeeze. This feels like the definition of the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Like, hey, but it's good shipping for Australia for once in Australia's life. Way to go. 15 to 25. Canada's 32 to 42. Like, there's some interesting concepts here. I really like the theming of it. I don't mind going to a room and lighting it up and making sure you can face these demons. But the rulebook is severely lacking for me to be interested in it. And man, that was a brutal read through. There's a lot of, do you have sanity? Do you not? And a lot of like, hey, did the event cards do interesting things, right? I'm not convinced by the things that they have been putting forward. It just feels like overblown and not really that interesting. But yeah, sorry I didn't cover it last time. You didn't miss much. I wouldn't late pledge personally. That was just like so disappointing in terms of of the actual content that was given. I think the game is going to be okay, but I think you're going to go through all the steps of the setup, and then you're going to get to the actual deduction of it, and you're going to go, oh, all right, I do this minigame. The minigames that don't really matter or aren't really that interesting. Doesn't describe any of the mini games because they aren't really important whatsoever. The things that they showed interacting with, they don't describe in the rulebook of how to work, which is insane to me. So yeah, really underwhelmed and disappointed by this, if I'm being honest. That's already done, but if you want it, you can check it out. Now we're moving on to... Man, that was so much time. Okay, we're moving on to this one. Escape the Dark Castle and Escape the Dark Forest. Now, there was a new patron recently who... Was it Andre? I think it was Andre who said that they got into it based upon Dark Castle. Yeah, I've never really been interested. We have Escape the Dark Castle and Escape the Dark Forest. This is a whole system of games called Escape the whatever. They all kind of follow a similar vein. There was a zombie one, like Escape the Walking Dead did one that broke over $1 million. They're fairly simple games. It's a very choose your own adventure vibe. Theme born. Yeah, they're kind of based in that theme. They're saying it's reimagined to be less random. That's good if it's actually less random. I find with these games, it's kind of like go to a spot, flip over a card, read what happens, make a small choice, go to somewhere else. Fine, but not something that's going to have personal longevity in my own collection or even any interest. Oh, The Last of Us. It wasn't Walking Dead, it was Last of Us. Like an old school RPG. I think that's a good way of describing it. You take on the role of prisoners, you have to work together using custom dice and item cards to overcome the castle's many horrors, traps, and challenges, each of which is represented by a large, beautifully illustrated chapter card. Right, you're going to flip over the chapter card and it's going to have like a stat check that you need to hit. 3-act system, similar to Escape the Dark Sector, reduces swings in difficulty while reworked combat setup system brings improved player scaling. That makes a lot of sense. So before it was just like, hey, turn over a card, do you die? Now there's going to be turn over a card, you're earlier in the game, so this is going to be easier. That seems like one of the main changes. There's a durability system, there's a range combat, there's stamina, luck mitigating resource to re-roll or dodge damage. All of those seem like really nice things, right? You hear a scream. As a group, you choose flee or fight. It's a big choose-your-own-adventure game with some dice rolling, and you have items that can help mitigate that dice rolling. I think the thing that draws people in is the artwork itself. I think like this is along the same veins as Betrayal at House on the Hill. If I'd gotten into it earlier in my board gaming journey, I think I would really appreciate it and enjoy it. I think the further on that I go in terms of learning board games, the more I crave for that puzzle. And sitting around and reading story text has never really been interesting to me in a cooperative experience. I'd rather we all sort of use our brains together. Or if I was going to do RPG storytelling, then I would just like do an RPG. So it's not really anything that interests me. It's a very simple system. 63 Canadian is okay. If you're going for just one, I would probably go for just the Forest because it is the newest one, right? So you have the highest chance of them to have taken all the lessons that they have learned and added it into a new package. I'm coughing up a storm. Well, you haven't heard that. I've cut it out. Cut it out! Yeah. What's shipping like? Shipping feels reasonable to not Canada. Canada would essentially double your cost. I don't see the point of getting it. I don't see the point of getting it at crowdfunding either. I think you could go and grab it from a retail store. Hopefully, maybe get the Last of Us version. That might be in more wider distribution. Not something I really care about at all, but if you're interested, check it out. The finish is on the 19th at 3 p.m. Okay, we're moving on to Song of Silveranth. Venture through a massive open-world fairy tale land, searching for money on wild adventures. Searching for money on wild adventures to free your father from debtor's prison, from the designer of Sleeping Gods. Okay. Open world, I wonder if it's going to be similar to Sleeping Gods. Sure, it gives me very Sleeping Gods vibes in that it's a big adventure game in an open world. You're going to run around getting points. In Sleeping Gods, you had to discover, I don't know what it was called. Zach has Sleeping Gods. He said he was fine with it. Didn't quite get into it as much as he's gotten into other things. He was playing that solo. But there are things that you're searching for in the world. In Iridia, there's squills, right? They give you a sense of progression. And if you have like X amount of things, let's call them songs. I bet they're songs. I don't know what they are, but I mean, let's call them sleepers for Sleeping Gods. Somebody can correct me in the comments. But you go around, you get a bunch of those things. And if you get all of them, you win, right? If there is a winning to be had. And that feels a very similar flow of what they're putting forward on this one. But there is this little dungeon crawling thing, and they said that there's a stealth aspect or there's a new combat aspect, which might be cool. Each character has their own quest line, which is potentially fun. Standard $90, $140 for the deluxe, which gives you character minis and metal coins and some additional upgraded resources. Sing a Song of Silveranth. That's a fun little dice tower if you wanted a dragon dice tower. So standard pledge for me, the $90 works out to 130 Canadian plus shipping, probably about 150 to get this. I think I could be interested. Let's see what the combat is like. That's the most important. I hope this is true. I doubt it's very much true, but like, I imagine you'll get keywords as you go through, right? Your choices will change the balance of the world. And so if you have a certain number of keywords, then things can change. Here's the story. One brisk morning, while working at the family glass-blowing factory, uniformed soldiers tramped in with their muddy boots and arrested your father. He was hauled off to debtor's prison with a massive sum of silver between him and freedom. Now, the house, the family farm. I got distracted because I was thinking, oh yeah, they said it in the intro, and I just forgot that you have to just get money. Get money. You have a lot of debt and get money. What a horrible theme for a game. Don't you know that all these people buying your board games with their stretch pay have too much debt because they've committed to too much stretch pay and they need to get money and they can't play the games about getting money because they gotta get money in real life to play the games about getting money? Your family farm and the glass-blowing factory are under threat of being seized by the local lord. Financial hardship has plagued the family for years, but you had no idea the depth of the debt pit. You have but 60 days to find a solution, aided by old family friends, glassworks employees, and perhaps even unsavory sellswords from the nearest street corner. You'll never get enough money selling glass. Though perhaps, if you're desperate enough, you might make the journey north to the legendary Dragon of Havoc, a godlike being who sometimes grants aid to those of worthy heart. You unwrap your father's old dagger and saddle your horse, leaving the forge embers cold to the uncertain path ahead. Well, that's a pretty clear it's a pretty clear heading. It's like, it's an open world, but there is a mythical god up north who will grant your every wish. Go wherever you like, you know? And also, you can't just earn a living and get your father's debt paid off. You will not be able to do it. This is the real world. And you cannot earn enough money in your lifetime to save your father's life. So better go to the magical wish-granting dragon. Oh, how desolate. Okay, there's a reputation system. People will join your party, people will attack you. Prototype rulebook, yes please. Because that will give me a little bit more information than just 2 gifts of a new push your luck combat system. I don't know, call me crazy that I want to know what I'll be interacting with over the course of 1200 minutes. Call me crazy, just call me crazy. I'm eccentric that way, I know. Each character has a mind song. So they're just like, you're just humming something in your head. That was me murdering a bunch of people to the smooth sounds of daylight. All cards are basically in everybody's hand, except for character-specific cards. You have to have a weight limit, sure. Pretty scalable. You'll have a bunch of active quests, which will have keywords on it. A bunch of resources that will mitigate checks. Fail forward. Most of the time, even if you fail, you gain consequences, but you also gain the reward. So you're always just going to keep on progressing, but it'll get tougher and tougher. And it'll say specifically if you don't gain a reward. So just rolling skill checks. Okay. You can reroll as many times as you want to lockpick. There's no but if you roll over 20, you bust and you cannot open the lock. So you roll 4 6-sided die. Okay, so you roll, you hope you don't roll over 20, you hope to roll a 2, and then you win. Because if you can roll as many times as you want, you just keep rolling all of your dice till you get 6s on all of them. That lockpicking sounds completely silly. I do like these ring-bound books as you travel around and, I'm going to go up to 34. I'm just going to run around, go to this place, investigate this land, read a passage of text. It feels like it is a very solo-only type of game. You'll try to get stealthily into positions so that then you can pop out and attack them. You can't attack them when you've done stealth as a key element. This is a wildly silly rulebook. Why are you giving me enemy behavior when we're not in the combat section? And then they're just going back, then go back to the storybook, now go over to combat. That's fine. It's just it's a real sort of counterintuitive attack. So you roll the dice, you'll have a number of dice. In this case, for this weapon, 1 to 3, they don't hit. 4 to 6 do hit. But you have to check to see if the sum of the pips on your blundered dice, the blundered dice, okay, that makes more sense, is equal to or higher than the enemy's defense rating. So there's a bunch of blundered dice. So if you rolled a ton of blundered dice, you rolled two threes, for example, and their defense rating is 6, you wouldn't be able to do any damage. But if you didn't miss, then you can deal the damage that you have. If you decide to keep rolling, roll 1 dice at a time, place it on the left or right side. Interesting. So you can choose to, again, be basically safe. Oh, you can roll extra dice. Okay, fine. So if you've only rolled 1 or 2 blundered dice, you can roll a dice, and as long as it's not a 3, you'll hit again. Yeah, okay, I don't mind that as a push your luck style game. So you can roll really well, and then you're like, great, I'll just deal extra damage, deal extra damage, deal extra damage, or you can blunder and just try to deal the damage that you have. 1 damage per hit dice. The weapon's bonus damage with the sum of the pip dice is 20 or greater. Oh, so you automatically do the bonus damage, and then if you hit over 20, you deal additional 2 damage. So if I rolled 3 dice here, and I rolled 666, because I'm the devil, then I rolled an additional dice because I can, and I rolled a blunder of a 2. Oh, dang, I rolled another additional dice because I'm not worried because I rolled a 2. There's no chance I bust. I roll a 1. Dang, I'm going to roll an additional dice because as long as I don't roll a 3, I can get it successfully. I roll additional dice. I roll a 5. I roll another dice. I roll a 5. I roll another dice. I roll a 2. I'm going to stop there. Then I would deal sort of 5 damage for my dice, plus 2, and then plus an additional 2, so that would kill this hermit. Yeah, I could see that being fun. Otherwise, it'll counterattack, and then you'd go all over again. I like that. Or you can win through talking. You know, I think this actually looks pretty fun. I think it looks fun and simple. I think the key here is that it looks really simple, and I think it would be really simple to table, especially as a solo player. I think if you are a solo gamer, this would be interesting. I like the storybooks. You have 2 storybooks. I think just going through and reading it on your own might be enjoyable. Still, it's $90 US and then 30 shipping, 31 to Canada. So again, for me, it's like $170. I don't like it to that extent. I mean, it doesn't blow me away. But if I had it in front of me and I had like a day just at a cabin somewhere, well, I'm not going outside, so I might as well play it. That finishes on the 19th at 6 p.m. Yeah, if you're interested. Okay, we're moving on to this. Great. I love seeing marketing by crowdfunding nerds because then I know they didn't do the $1 pre-pledge. Double Lucky 7. This is a trick-taking board game for 2 to 7 players. The fast-paced, easy-to-learn casino-style board game for families and adults, full of surprising twists and big larfs. So this is just Oh Hell or Wizard, but they're charging you $80 Canadian for it. I love trick-taking games. I love trick-taking games where you predict things. That's awesome. You, at one point, can use one of these bonuses, I guess. Choose 2 players to swap their hand, adjust somebody's bid, earn double points, change the trump, extra card, no trump. For thrill seekers, roll a dice and see which one you pick. That just sounds friggin' terrible. But I like this. I like the you can use your 7 once to cover one of these things so that there's potential usage of these throughout the game. Why? You're not going to spend €39, 64 Canadian on this because you can just play Wizard or Oh Hell or any card game, and this doesn't add enough to it to warrant the expense. I think it looks cool. I think it's a fun little twist with that little 7, but what I could do is just take a picture and incorporate it into any game of Wizard and you'd be fine. That finishes Thursday, November 20th at 7:05 a.m. If you are interested, we're moving along to this. I just thought this was kind of funny and interesting. This is the Puzzle Board Chess Pro, a dynamic chessboard that uses puzzle tiles to change its shape every game. Build territory, deploy your army, go for checkmate. Are you bored with chess? You know, chess gets a little boring after a while. A true board gamer knows that real variability comes with a modular setup, not through pure strategy that has stood 400 years. Blah, 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 okay? Suck on this, Magnus Carlsen, all right? Now we have an asymmetric setup. Now it gets interesting. It kind of reminds me of, I really like things that take chess and make it different. It reminds me of Darkleaf Gambit. That was a pick for the week way back, which the creator emailed me and was like, hey, do you want this to cover it? And I never got back to him because I was too overwhelmed. I think realistically, like, the market for it's really small. And it's for me, I don't play chess that much. I play with my buddy Yaz, and that's it. Still like it, but yeah, I think this is funny, right? It's funny. You make a different board. There are these weird pieces with gaps in them. I guess if there's a gap, you can just jump over it, or you can't. I don't know. Like here, it feels like the pawns are just dead if you can't go crosswise. Let's see what the video says. Oh, but there are no pawns. That makes sense. That makes it easier. Cool. So you place initial tiles, you put a pawn on there, and then you probably remove the pawns. You remove your pawns, and then you add in where your chess pieces are going to be. That sounds great. Honestly, it seems really fun. $39 for this, $55 for a little puzzle board with a chess set. Probably could do this again with a print and play, but I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to mention it. Let's finish this Thursday, November 20th at 10:05 a.m. We're moving along, not to this one, Fury of the Elements, because they decided to do the $1 pre-pledge, unfortunately showing that it's not a magic indicator of success in any capacity. People are like, hey, it'll tell us when we'll fund. We're going to get so many backers from our $1, and then they just kind of fund anyway. Or they just launch anyway, and they get 67 backers, and they've spent all of their money on marketing, and will make zero money from their idea. It exists. I also clicked on this because I was like, what in the fresh hell is this? Genmodimalstm, the living trading card game. Collect cards, battle in AI. Help build a new world, submit stories that become part of the canon. Oh, this is a flag for me to scroll down to the bottom of the page. People were asking for me to highlight if it uses AI. The best way to highlight if something on Kickstarter uses AI, just for those of you who don't know, is you go down to the bottom part, and it says, I'm incorporating AI, and it'll tell you all the ways that they incorporate AI. Like even for Netherwatch, for example, I think GameFound also has this, which is smart of them to do because I know people want it. It says the AI policy. They've used it very sparingly in the past for page borders for a couple of projects. They prefer to, I mean, that's a very kind of generic AI policy on Netherwatch, if we're being real. But yeah, this makes me want to punch myself in the face. Our founder, who is a human behavior scientist, also they aren't even talking about what their game is. There's no like, here how to play, more ways to play. You need to use a voice mode to play the game. Blech. Anyway, let's move on. It's just atrocious, just ugly and atrocious, and funded by the creator and 6 of their friends. But we're moving on to this. Ooh, I'm very excited to cover this one. This is Puzzle Hungry Umami Rush. I was excited when I first saw the ads for a drop. This is a competitive puzzle game. Puzzling meets a chaotic kitchen race in a game with 19 unique jigsaw puzzles full of chaos and replayable fun. The reason why I'm excited about this is because it is by Survivor winner. Spoiler alert, season 47 of Survivor, Rachel Lamont, who I think is a pretty decent winner. 47 was a fun season. Rachel's best move, if you want to know, was... So in Survivor, if you aren't watching Survivor and you like games and you like social deduction games, you need to be watching Survivor. It has been on now for 49 seasons, so you have a lot to catch up on. And if you really need, I can give you a breakdown of all the seasons to watch. And in what order. If you want to start from the beginning, you can. Yeah, watch the first one. You can skip Australian Outback. It's pretty slow. You can watch Africa because I like it, and it's a fun setting. You get the big giant boulders in Africa. But like anything in the early era is not going to be as interesting, but still I'm going to give you these as like your little highlights. Season 4 is important to Survivor lore because it's Boston Rob's first season. It also had the first time people realized, this obvious game that shows us where the alliances are and how there's a group of 4 people who think they're going to win the game with 9 people left and they don't understand what a majority is. Let's vote them out. So yeah, that was a really monumental shift. Season 5 is probably the worst. This is going to go on for a while. Now I'm in it, and I'm going to just tell you my thoughts about every season of Survivor. Sorry, buckle up. We'll get to this game in a second. Season 5 is Thailand, and it's highly regarded as one of the worst seasons of Survivor ever because, there's some harassment in it that wasn't talked about or addressed in a proper manner. And also it was won by a very bad human in general. However, he's a used car salesman, and he basically ran the game. Sociopath, apparently shot like an animal with an arrow, but dominated the game. Is probably one of the most dominant winners in Survivor history. Season 6 is great. Amazon is fun. It's the first boys versus girls and lots of good characters. One of my favorite players who will never return, Heidi, is on that season. I think Heidi is incredibly underrated. I think Heidi was a fantastic player. And man, that would be on my wish list of players who would come back, but she's already expressed that she never will. Season 7 is iconic and probably of the first 10 seasons, the one that you have to watch. Because it features Rupert and Sandra, and it has maybe the best first episode of Survivor in the history of the canon, because the marooning, they all get dropped off at a village and it's pirate themed, and Rupert gets into the pirate theme and he steals the other tribe's shoes and trades them to the locals for food. So good. Season 8 was the first All-Stars, and it's generally an unpleasant season because there was a lot of people who took it very, very personally on a rewatch. Oh, it's also unpleasant because, again, harassment issues that never were addressed. It's not looking good in this little retrospective. Season 9, though, okay, so here's what you got to do. Watch season 1 because it's the OG. It's worthwhile, I think. And then you can watch season 3. Then maybe you could skip 6. You can watch that later. Watch season 7. If you're going to watch one of the first 10, watch season 7. And then watch season 9, Vanuatu, because it features the first player whose name is Chris in it. And it's also a revisit of the boys versus girls thing. And people are like, it didn't work the second time. But I think it's really underrated. And if you think differently, then you're classless. Classless. Yes, this is still going to go on for a while. Season 10 was Palau. Palau is a very interesting season just because one tribe was super dominant over the other, and plus it had one of the most beloved winners, I feel, at the time. Season 11 was Guatemala, where the twist was fun. You get Rafe, who is the showrunner now for Wheel of Time. One of my favorite parts about Wheel of Time, which was a great series, was seeing that Rafe was the showrunner. I was like, I know you from Survivor. Also fun player. You also have the first hidden immunity idol, which pops up in here. And this is where the game starts to twist. Season 12 has some great characters. It was the first Exile Island, which isn't that great of a twist. Well, it is, but, some things were overpowered, but not as overpowered as in Season 13, which is Survivor Race Wars Island. Cook Islands, which is also low-key a really great season. That's why, because casting did a great job, and it shows that, yes, diversity in casting is important, and you get a friggin' awesome cast with it. There are 5 returnees, 5 or 6. I always forget because Candace is a returnee, but Candace was also only loved by Billy Garcia, and that's pretty much it. These are some deep pulls, but the Survivor fans out there will appreciate. Season 14, also one of the worst seasons, but it has Yowman and Earl, which at least make up for it, but they had like have-not twist. You don't need to watch Season 14. There's also the infamous Dreams car moment, which, sorry for the spoilers, but yeah, Yowman was exceptional. Season 15 is a great season. Season 15 is China, great location, great cast, great winner. Would love to see that winner come back. 16 is Fans vs. Favorites, which is known as an all-time great. 17 is Gabon, which is not very good, but it's like if you want your catty reality TV, that's a good season to watch. It's not really a good season for good gameplay, but it's filled with really catty people. Although Randy in there, one of his audition video for Survivor is a very funny audition video because it's just him saying, I think I'd be great at Survivor because people know how to obey my orders. And then he goes, sit. And his dog sits. And like, that's the whole video. He didn't do anything else. And I'm like, what a great play to get on the show. Season 18 is a great season. That's Token Jeans or Cochin Jeans. Fantastic season. 19 is Samoa, which is just the Russell Hantz show, but it is worthwhile watching because he revolutionized the game. And season 20 is Heroes versus Villains. Amazing. Great season. Top tier season. So out of the next 10 for your watching guide. So if you're watching, if you're caught up, you can, if you really want to do it, you can prioritize Pearl Islands. You can do Vanuatu. Just do a Vanuatu for me, okay? Vanuatu's underrated, but trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Then you can watch Exile Island. That's season 12. I would think watch season 13 for Cook Islands because you get a lot of really important characters. Skip 14, watch 15. China is great. Watch 16. You can skip Gabon, but just know that I quote my favorite quote in Survivor ever comes from a confessional from that season, which is forget you, go home, goodbye. It's fantastic. She screams it at the confessional as they're voting somebody out. Watch 18. And then I'm really torn because Samoa's not like a fun season, but I think you should watch it for your Survivor journey because it is like it was such a pivotal moment in Survivor history. And then you have to watch 20. 20 is great. 21 is where they cast a whole season for Boss and Rob to win. So that was fun for him. Oh no, sorry, 21's Nicaragua. 21 is old versus young, and they had this really bad twist that nobody ever used. They're like, the Medallion of Power. When you use it, it gives you an advantage, and you have to pass it back to the other team. And then the young team was like, yeah, okay, well, we're just not going to use it. And they're like, wait, no, that's our whole concept for the show. And they're like, yeah, we're just not going to use it because we're winning, and we're gonna beat them. They're like, no, but that's the whole concept. And they're like, get it out of town. Season 22 is Redemption Island, where they're like, yeah, we want Boston Rob to win because we love him. Season 23 is also Redemption Island, gets very religious-y and like weaponized religion, so it's an uncomfortable watch, but is a good winner. Good winner, and also like, Coach should have won. Sorry, Sophie, Coach should have won. But a fun twist. Season 24 has a fantastic winner, but it's a very boring season. Had a great concept too, Survivor One World. Was that 24 or 25? No, I think it was 24. So you don't really need to watch it, but it's my favorite winner in Survivor history. So I don't know what to tell you. It's not a good season because that winner just dominates throughout the whole game. 25 is great, Philippines, except there is now confirmed Predator on it. Again, not great. That's three seasons. So there's going to be 4 seasons, 4 out of 49 seasons, which is like, well, no. Only 3 had the sexual assault happening on screen. This Predator was behind closed doors. So, and he does get bonked on the head with a coconut by another member. And so, really gives us the Abby Marie Gomez redemption arc that we all want. 26 was another fans versus favorites. People like this a lot. I think it's bad because I don't think the favorites were any good. I thought the fans were really good in it, and the favorites were just unlikable, and there were like 2 of them who were actually favorites. I didn't think the win was that impressive either, and honestly, I felt like a favorite should have won. The favorite who was in the final 3 should have won. Season 27 was Blood. We're halfway through. I love Survivor. I'm so behind on season 49. Season 27, don't worry, I'll do a recap. I'll do a recap at the end of every 10. So you know what to do. Season 27 of Blood versus Water, the first Blood versus Water. People really like the Blood versus Water twist. I was never a fan of it in both, and I was like, maybe it'll work in season 29 when it's because the first season of Blood versus Water was like a favorite and their loved one. It's like a returnee player and their loved one. And then the people whose like loved ones got voted out first obviously won because they were the free agents. Like they were the people who were able to make it far. That's just what's going to happen. And that's kind of what happened in the second one as well, ish. Not really. There were a couple of couples that paired up. I don't think either are worth watching, to be honest. But let me be clear, all Survivor is worth watching, okay? But yeah, you want to go with Cagayan 28 in the middle. Cagayan is an all-star season, best of the bunch. And then season 30 is, white collar versus blue collar versus no collar. Which, yeah, okay, it has what was to become a Survivor huge fan favorite until now we know that they're a QAnon member, so not that great. But it's got an okay arc. Again, some really not great people in it. So let's recap. In the 20s, you could watch. Honestly, you should watch Philippines and just ignore the sexual predator who's now in prison or has been released. Ooh, not a great look. I realize I'm not selling it that well, but I don't want you to have an uncomfortable viewing experience. Watch Cagayan. I think you can watch Cagayan out of that. I don't think you need to watch anything else of the 20s. I think you can watch 28. Yeah, then we'll move on. But the 30s were good. 31 was fantastic. 31 is Second Chance. So good. All the players are awesome in it. So great. 32 was Co Wrong. Also a good season, even if the 2 members friggin' suck, but they get their comeuppance. So that's really nice. There's some nice arcs in there. And the winner is absolutely deserved. One of the best players to ever play the game, even though people are like, I shouldn't have won. One of the best players, huge social player. And that's shown in Winners at War. 33, Millennials versus Gen X. Fantastic season. Go watch that one. 34 was Game Changers. This is why I always start off every one of my Survivor Audition videos with, hey everybody, it's Chris George, fan favorite Game Changer, Chris George here, because there were not many Game Changers on it. Also, Malcolm's last foray, which is a real shame because he got in a stupid way. But a good season, a goodish season, because returnee players are always making fun seasons. 35 was, oh no, what's 35? Because 36 is Ghost Island. Oh, 35 is Heroes, Hustlers, And Humdingers, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. I like this one. I think you got good characters. Plus, it's one of my favorite players going into who's going to be in 50 is in this one. So worthwhile watching for her game. 36 with Ghost Island. Also fun enough. The final two were really good. 37, David versus Goliath is top tier season. So good. Absolutely should be watched. 38, sucks. It was a bad twist, and the twist should never have existed, and the finale shows why the twist was bad. 39, also don't need to watch. That's the one where somebody was removed from the game for inappropriate touching. And good, because they actually did something this time instead of way back in Survivor 5 and Survivor 8. And then Survivor 40, Winners at War. Amazing, amazing season. Are you with me? The 30s were great, other than 38 and 39. Don't worry about it. From 31 to 37, all very watchable. And then 40 was awesome. Then we get into 41 and 42, and now you stop having themes, so all of these kind of blend together. And this is sort of the new era of Survivor, which we are in right now, which Rachel Lamont was the winner of one of these. And all of these seasons are equal. I'll save you the recap. 41 to 48 are all equal. They're all the same. They all feel the same. They're all very fun, but none of them are different. They're all exactly the same because all the players kind of feel the same. There's no huge characters that pop out. There are a couple noticeable moments, right? Like, yes, there are characters, but they're sort of sparse in between. I really like 42. 42 was a good one out of the batch. 43 had was very fun for a bromance, and then like the fallout of that. 44 had a nice redemption arc story, and you do get Carolyn, who's arguably one of the best characters from the 40s, it's insane choices from the casting of season 50, that Carolyn's not back, that Jesse's not back, that Omer's not back. Just insane choices. That Banu's not back. Okay, I won't go on the last one. But yeah, all up into 48 are about the same. So 47 was fun. I don't care. This is my channel. I do whatever the hell I want, all right? I'm starting a Survivor channel. My friends have a Survivor podcast called Merge Boot, if you're interested in like just hearing two people sort of talk about the episode and then get on tangents. And sometimes I guest on that. We usually have a Survivor pool that we have going on, which I can't check my stats yet because I'm still behind because I've had such a busy friggin' 3 weeks. But I'm enjoying this season so far. 49. 47 was good. 47 was good, and Rachel is a deserving winner. And let me tell you about her best move. So there's this thing in Survivor which is called, I realize how long I've been talking, okay? I realize this. I know that some of you who have listened to this won't be interested in Survivor, and you're wrong, okay? You need to go and watch a season. What season should you start with? Great question. Start with either season 28. Start if you want like a middle ground, interesting one with some fun characters. Lots of characters came back. Start with season 37. Because again, sort of the tail end right before the beginning of the new era when they were still doing 39 days, which is AKA before COVID. 37 has amazing characters, amazing gameplay, really is emblematic about what Survivor can do. Both of these are newbie seasons. If you really want to go old school, you can go with 15, which is China, or Pearl Islands, which is 7. Those would be my like newbie season recommendations. See, I'm not even going to recommend you one of my favorite seasons, Vanuatu, number 9, because I know it's kind of polarizing. I'm giving you the good ones. Okay? The best one of those is probably David versus Goliath, which is season 37. So if you have to go watch a season, go watch that one and report back to me. And report back to me every episode in the comments. And I'm dead serious. I'm absolutely serious. This summer, our stage manager, Kate, she started watching Survivor, and we've had a whole text chain where I say, please send me your notes. And then I get the notes. See, these are notes from Gabon. She's watching Gabon right now. I'm like, live tweet me. So she's writing down her notes, and I love it. And I think it's so fun. What did she watch? She watched she's watching 49, yeah. She watched 16, yeah, because it's fans versus favorites, that's good. She watched 15 and enjoyed it. See, I'm operating on somebody who really didn't watch Survivor before, but also watched 28, which is great, and then watched David versus Goliath, right? Oh no, watched Millennials versus Gen X. Oh, hasn't watched David versus Goliath yet? Sick. Yeah, watched Heroes versus Hustlers. Oh, the memories. Yeah, awesome. I gotta tell her to watch David vs. Goliath. But yeah, she's going rogue. She's going rogue with Gabon. I've made a Survivor fan. You know you're a Survivor fan when you're into Gabon. I mean, when a new Gabon head out there, come on. Anyway, write to me in the comment. I don't care. Again, I don't care. I've spent too long on this. It's a fantastic show. It's an incredible game. It is one of the best games on TV right now. No, I have yet to watch any traitors, and I know I need to spank myself raw because of it. It's a fantastic game, and I want you to live tweet me your journeys. Anyway, what I was going to say... what I was going to say is Rachel Lamont had a very good move. My favorite move. Do you believe me now? Do you believe me now that when I say what Rachel's move is that it's her best move of the game? Because it is, and nobody talks about it, but it's correct, and it shows why she's a deserving winner. Whole Operation Italy, fine. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Whole sneaking in the night and overhearing people, sure. You already knew it. You didn't need to sneak. Yeah, Rachel was very good at managing her threat level, which is important. That's the key. That's why I hopefully will win Survivor one day, because there's this thing called the meat shield strategy, where you keep all the big, beefy boys around you as meat shields, and you're like, oh, look at that guy. But for me, my special skill is that I can make anybody a meat shield. I'll beta my way to the finals, baby. I will be as unthreatening as possible, and I will convince people that it doesn't matter who they are. They're going to become a meat shield. They're going to become threat number one, because I love building people up. I love building you up, just so others can tear you down and I can worm my way to the finals. Anyway, Rachel's best move. I feel like Zach, his favorite part about Dune Imperium. Rachel's best move, Rachel Lamont right here, classic Rachel. And there's this thing in Survivor. God. Oh, I have so many tabs. I have so many more tabs. There's this thing in Survivor. It's called the Shot in the Dark. So they incorporated this in season 41 because I think it was season 41. I'm fairly certain it was season 41, but I do need to double check this because it started after Fire Tokens. Yes, season 41. Everybody gets a vote in Survivor. The structure of Survivor is you start with 18, 16, 20 people. You go to Tribal Council. You vote somebody out. You don't want to be voted out. Player elimination. You'd think it was bad, but it's great to watch. So they introduced this thing in season 41 called the Shot in the Dark, again, to shake up voting patterns. What they want to do as producers, as creating a TV show, is to not have no drama, to not have obvious votes, right? The most exciting thing is to provide uncertainty and to make votes split so that you only have to convince one person to turn on their tribe, essentially. Because if you have a group of 8, and you have like 3 people, and the 8 votes the 3 out, there's no way you can get 3 of those people to turn, right? But if you have the threat of somebody being protected and negating all those votes, then they got to split 4-4. And if you can grab one of those 4s over to your side, or 2 of those 4s over to your side, you then have the majority. So they like to incorporate things which will shake up the numbers. And they also now like to remove people's votes for some strange reason, which is, again, in an effort to make things not as predictable, but it's never really that interesting because it's like either the Power Alliance loses a vote and then it doesn't matter, or it's the minority loses a vote and then it doesn't matter, and it just makes for a big counterbalance. And because it's random of who gets the opportunity to potentially lose their vote or get an advantage, I don't know. Anyway, there's a thing called a Shot in the Dark. I'm sorry for this, where you can play it and you don't cast a vote, and you get a 1 in 6 chance of being safe. That's it. It's a dice. You roll a dice, but it's like a metaphorical dice because you draw it from a bag. But it's like a 1 in 6 chance. And only 2 people have ever really been saved by this thing in like 9 seasons. So it's not really an effective strategy, because if you think you're going home, and like if you're going home, you're like, oh, I'm safe, all the votes on me are negated, which has happened and it's been very exciting, then they just go home the next time, right? You bought yourself a day. You didn't really buy yourself that much. However, Rachel used it incredibly well. She was under the 8 ball. Her tribe was going to be voted out, or like some of her alliance members were going to be voted out. And she didn't know if they were targeting her or her alliance member. And so what she did is she used her Shot in the Dark, not for its safety power, but because, and she never talked about this, but it's just very clear in how she was acting. Or maybe she did talk about it. She used it as a tool, because then she hands the paper to Jeff, and Jeff's like, okay, this is your vote. And she wasn't even looking at Jeff. She looks at everybody else who's watching Jeff and is reading their expression to see if she needed safety, because she also had a special idol in her pocket where she could use to cancel out the votes if necessary. So she used it to see if she needed to play her idol and deduced that she didn't need to play her idol. She didn't. Her team got voted out. She was then able to slip under cover and then work her way back up to the top. I thought it was a great move. It was the only time somebody's used a shot in the dark that way. It shows that Rachel is a great game player. That's the point I wanted to make. And also, she's part of a group called the Aristocrats. Let's see what this jigsaw puzzle's all about. I already looked at it. It's competitive puzzling. It looks great. The appetizer, US only. Christmas delivery for $30. Okay. Oh, but it's only the appetizer. I don't want that. That's bullshit. I want $49 one, $70 Canadian for the full main course, one copy. Ugh, I hate this. Bad. It's already a bad start. I don't have it off the top of my head which immunities Rachel won, but she did win 4 of them. So a good puzzler. Okay, race to the finish. Race to finish your food puzzle. You need speed and focus to perfectly plate your multi-layered double-sided dish. Ring the bell and shout, "Order up," let the whole kitchen know you're the fastest chef around. All puzzling stops while you take your turn. Your reward could be a new food order, a chaotic action card, or a server card that forces the lead player to stop and solve a server puzzle with no points. Okay, so like a mandatory quest in Lords of Waterdeep, keep drawing until you get a food puzzle. The game ends when the final server puzzle is completed, no more orders. But are you all fighting over pieces, or do you all have your own separate pieces? I really like that they're just getting Survivor players to play test. Oh, I want to be on Survivor so badly. I'm very upset. Where's the rulebook, Rachel? What the damn hell? I want to back this, but I need to know how to play. Where's a playthrough video, Rachel? Nobody cares about pins. That's not true. People care about pins. We'll post an update and add a link to the main project page once it's available for review. You have 3 days to go. That is a lie. That is not correct. You have not done that. This makes me so upset. I am so upset. I wanted this to be my pick of the week, Rachel. So presumably you're going to draw a card, and then you would grab all of the pieces for that specific puzzle, and then you'd all have to race. But and then everyone would have to throw away their recipe, or they would pause their own recipe. Because if they pause their own recipe, then there's naturally just going to be people who are finishing. And it's not going to be that much about speed. I want to speed puzzle. I desperately want a speed puzzle. Tally the points for every dish you successfully serve. Everybody needs to get something, a new dish. Do you disassemble your dish every time? Tell me. I'm so mad. Actively excited for this. So excited to cover this. Spent an hour talking about Survivor. Maybe specifics don't matter to Rachel because she was essentially immune from the final 7 on, or else would have been voted out. And it wasn't due to her social strategy. It was just due to immunity challenge wins. And maybe in Survivor you want to get that social strategy. Is it in this video? No, I already watched this video. There's nothing in the video. I'm so disappointed. That finishes November 20th at 12 p.m. Come on. Be better. You're a Survivor winner. You are the top 100 people in the world. I'm legitimately depressed right now. God, this has been a week. Oh, I have so much to go. Oh, God. Okay. We got this. Archives of the Fallen World, a print-to-play solo strategy board game set in the final days of a collapsing dystopian town. Roll and write your own dark Christmas tale. I got to clean for my subletter today, too. Oh. Nuka Zombie. Oh, okay. This isn't going to be that good. It's going to look good. Help Leon collect 32 books by completing various quests across 12 locations scattered throughout the town. Solve quests, trade, steal, or search the ruins. Every day is a fight for survival. You need food to survive. You can't eat books. Oh, this doesn't look too bad. There's no rule book, though. Looks better than most of their stuff that they've done. Yeah, it looks like there's more of a game here than usual. You're going to roll 2 dice every day. You'll visit different locations. These are probably all the different locations. So you're just dropping the numbers in these specific mini games is what it looks like. And trying to also have a little route planning, patrolling the streets, going back and forth to different locations to use your numbers there. What is it? $8 Canadian. If you're interested in something like that. We're moving on to Tranquility, The Descent, a new standalone game in the critically acclaimed Tranquility series. Work together to explore the depths of the earth. Tranquility is a sort of a limited communication style of game. You're arranging cards in a grid, but you don't know what everybody else has in their hands, as far as I understand it. I've never played it. I've heard it's fine enough. I don't think it's probably worth getting on crowdfunding. Play it in silence. Yeah. Finally, something to play with the kids. Hold your cards in ascending value. Players can deduce what you're holding. It's kind of like Bomb Busters. I played Bomb Busters recently. I wasn't overwhelmed by it. Like a 3.5. What makes The Descent different? I don't know. Will take turns placing cards to pave the way for their teammates. Complete the full grid of 40 cards. Rows are completed in order. Each row has to be completed with numbers ascending from left to right before a new row can be started. The twist: in Descent, everyone holds their cards in ascending order. So every time your fellow cavers play a card, you'll learn which cards in their hand could be higher in value and which could be lower. Cards are numbered 1 to 21 in 4 different suits or elements. They'll always know the color of cards in your hand, but not the number. Every card can be played face down as an element. Elements pave the way for matching colored number cards to be played on top. Your played number card must match the color of the element. So there's essentially 80 cards and you're playing 40 of them. $23. That's better than I expected. I expected it to be 30. It's 33 Canadian. Shipping to Canada is $19, so double it. US is $9. I think you can get Tranquility at a game store at this point. I have heard good things about the base game. I think you could play it on BGA as well. It doesn't seem like it'll blow my mind, but I heard it's solid enough. If you like limited communication, this is worth checking out. I like that deduction aspect in the hand, so yeah, that finishes on, I think, the 20th. Yeah, Thursday, November 20th at 8 p.m. We're not covering Lord of Loot because they did the $1 pre-pledge, but we are going to cover Kavango. Kavango and Lodges expansion. Build ecotourism lodges to keep your nature reserve thriving. New card placement mechanics add strategic depth and crucial bonuses. So Kavango was my pick of the week way back when. I know my buddy Colin got a copy. Colin Vongo, as we like to call him. No, we call him Colonel Mustard. But yeah, I've played this multiple times with a few people. This is a really nice tableau builder, a good replacement for Seven Wonders. I think it's a very slick game. I like it quite a bit. I don't know if I like it enough to get my own copy because Colin has a copy. I don't think I would need a double in my collection, but I thought it was cool. Yeah, I thought it was really, really neat. I also like there's some asymmetry. There's some asymmetric powers you can have. Essentially, you're going to be drafting cards, and you're either going to be getting 4 of the standard resources, or you're going to be building animals into your reserve. Your animals will be worth points, and they all require a certain number of stuff to live. You're also competing for goals as well, which can help give you buying power to get tier 3 or tier 4 of a certain animal based around if you've invested enough in the habitat. There are end game goals as well. So just like a lot of nice little, very simple tweaks to make a standard draft and create tableau builder something interesting. And I'm interested to see what the Lodges does if it adds in strategic depth, because right now it's super lightweight, very easy, filler, relaxing, does the job exactly how I hope it would. But we'll see what this new expansion is going to add into it, because I'm quite excited about it. Yeah, they need to have food and protection needs. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, I think that looks fun. So essentially what Lodges adds in are additional things you need to get. So you need to get the more rare birds and animals, and then you can put a lodge down, which will generate you income, you can also use that income to clear out new space in your tableau. In regular Kavango, there is no restriction in terms of when do you place things, but here there will be a restriction. I think that's very interesting because when you play Kavango, you're like, all right, I'm going to fill up my tableau with like 15 to 20 creatures pretty easily. But if there is a restriction, it might force you to invest in different power cards to build up in different ways. So I kind of like that a lot. Placement then matters a little bit. It'll be £30 for that new thing though. All in is $133 Canadian. It's just too expensive. The Lodges expansion, okay. Why is it 30 over here? The Lodges is just 15 for 28. Oh, captivating cats included for free. Let's go Kavango. What's this new stuff? Nah, what you doing? Oh, okay, who cares? It's just a bunch of shiny cards. Oh, and you're gonna get that anyway. Brilliant birds, cool. 15 new animals, who cares? Shiny pack, who cares? I do really like that every game came with one of these cards being like shiny. I thought that was a fun Kickstarter exclusive. Let's go Kavango. Using just your cards for a portable version. The original deck now becomes a travel-friendly and child-friendly version of Kavango to be included in the Let's Go box. That seems really stupid. Guess what? It's already, you don't need the box. You don't need the boards. Who cares? This is useless and stupid. But the Logic expansion looks good for 68. It's very travel friendly as it is. You're building your own tableau. You don't need to use the board. You're fine. It's a drafting game. Your original deck, so it gives an updated deck. So you get an updated deck for Kavango with some like balance tweaks, I guess. And then you can keep your new one for a new version. No, stupid. Stupid and dumb. Yeah, I think the expansion might be worth it, but shipping's going to be expensive. Shipping to Canada is £12. So it almost doubles. It's like $60 for this Lodges expansion. I don't think it's worth getting. Again, I think it's a very fun game. I don't think it's a Kickstarter yet. I think if you were to be seeing it at your store, it would be a lot more affordable. But $150 for like a drafting game, I don't know. It doesn't kill Seven Wonders that much. However, if money is no object, it is a great game, and I really like it. So that finishes Friday, November 21st at 3 a.m. Okay, we're going to cover this one just quickly. Echo Team Spearhead. It's a tactical war game where battles take place in and around urban terrain. Very briefly, because I don't really cover war games, but I'll still include them in the links if you're interested. Players take command of a special operations unit that's carrying out assignment locations all over the world. Tactical war game in and around urban terrain. One player controls the Echo Team, the other player an opponent. That varies with each mission. $70, they're always pretty expensive. It's $114, and no rule book or additional information, so why the hell would you do it? I'm surprised it's even raised this much that it's past its funding goal, because there's nothing here. But it's good for me, because then I can move on. Next up, we have X-Odus, Rise of the Corruption, the 2nd edition. A fully revised sci-fi cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. Explore a decaying galaxy. Oh, I think I remember this one. Confront an unstoppable force and rebuild the only weapon that can stop it. X-Odus 2nd edition features streamlined mechanics, faster setup, stunning new visuals, and a deeper narrative immersion. Everything you love now rebuilt from the ground up. Did I cover this before? Let's see. No, I don't think I covered it. It was earlier. Explore the unknown, ventured into uncharted systems filled with danger, mystery, and discovery. X-Odus isn't a mass market game. It's a passion project built with care over time by a small circle of people who believe games should mean something. Literally 99% of the 3,500 games that we've covered on Crowdfunding Countdown could say exactly the same thing. Not an impressive statement. €69, 115 Canadian for this game. I do like that this proves the rule that you should never back a 1st edition. You should only back reprints, because then you can get a whole community of people to playtest it for you, and then have it be fixed on the reprint. All of this is just gobbledygook for me, though. Rulebook. Yes, 52 pages of comfort, not complexity. This is Fractal Beyond the Void? No. It's just done by the same people, right? It's just in the same drive. I was like, I own that. I won Fractal in a giveaway. I still haven't played it, but I'm excited to. I think it looks good. Recover the precursor keys. That's your mission. These powerful sources of energy left behind by the ancient precursors are the only force strong enough to seal the main rift and stop the spread of corruption that threatens to consume the galaxy. To win the game, ships must discover the systems containing precursor signals, so exploration, resolve the precursor signals, and claim the precursor keys. Uncover the main rift, activate all the precursor keys on the main rift, defeat any avatars that may reach the main rift after the final key is activated. Oh no. It's Space the Night Cage. However, if Corruption Tracker reaches the rise of corruption before the ship seals the main rift, or if all your ships are defeated, the galaxy will fall to darkness and the game is lost. Time is of the essence, so plan carefully and act swiftly. What a weird thing. You can have different amount of ship games, but it's not the number of players, because it's cooperative. So, like, yeah, you can play with 4 ships. But as a 2-player game, you can play with a 2-ship game, or a 3-ship game, or a 4-ship game. Weird choices. That's a really nice storage idea. So they're adding the minis, and then they're taking the lid of the top one so that it looks like there's no lid lift, but you're just making a bigger box out of it. I think that's really slick in terms of design. I guess you would want to have more ships. I was just watching a little section of One Stop Co-op Shop's video as well before diving into this. If you have more ships, then you will have more abilities, right? The war ship is better for attacking. The exploring ship is better for exploring, which we'll get into. But that would make sense why you might want additional ships to play around with. This is another reason to have more ships, is that each ship will have different aptitudes with different dice, and you'll roll the dice to see how your checks work out. Cool. Here's the action phase, then corruption phase. At the beginning of the action phase, you reveal an ascendancy card. Each card represents a unique challenge that the ship must overcome together. Otherwise, the ascendancy track advances and empowers the avatars. Then you take 1 turn performing actions. Using action points, you can send a probe, you can explore spaces, you can move into spaces, you can move blindly into spaces and hope that nobody shoots you down, move around, explore, ship maintenance. That's how you gain precursor keys, repairing your ship, and then interacting or activating keys and stuff like that. I like this, the ability to get more action points at the risk of damage. Yeah, I mean, the actions seem pretty simple. You're going to be exploring, right? You want to just keep exploring the system in order to find the keys, dealing with enemies as they go through, and using whatever allies pop up to your advantage. I think it looks okay. Doesn't really blow me away. It's 25 euro shipping for this for me. So if I wanted this, it would be, again, 150 bucks. I should just play Fractal that I have. I think Fractal does look better than this. I was more excited for Fractal than I am for this. But yeah, it's doing quite well. And it's nice when fans remake a game, so that is better for you. So if you're interested in that, it finishes on the 21st at 11 a.m. How to design a VIP exclusive add-on. I imagine they have an early bird enamel pin as a early bird version. I gotta look this up, see if I can find anything. Okay, pre-launch pin was for anybody who followed our Kickstarter page and joined our mailing list before launch. Didn't require $1, and both are available as the add-on. Great. Okay, great, we can cover this. A pocket-sized strategy game about cats, pranks, and playful mayhem. Essentially, there's gonna be a big old house, and you have to run around causing the most mayhem. Is dedicated to crafting pocket experiences to bring people together. But the deluxe edition is $65. Core edition is 29 euro, 48 Canadian for the core edition. You make a house layout and you'll go and explore that house. Each turn you'll roll the custom die, move your cat, and play up to 2 cards. Mischief cards can only be used in their matching rooms, so play it in the attic, etc., rewarding you with victory points while adding chaos to the mansion. Prank cards let you sabotage your rivals and twist the game in your favor. You can also discard cards for extra movement or to drop chaos tokens, shaping the human's next target. Because the human's chasing the cats around, the human just wants to relax. It's not roll and move, it's roll 4 moves. So each room will have a different effect if you end there, and I think that's going to be the key. If you get caught by the human, you'll lose 2 mischief tokens. The cat with the most tokens wins. Yeah, that seems pretty simple. I think the key here is going to be that the house, all the rooms do something different. So it's going to be about like sitting in the room that's going to give you more cards. I don't mind random cards if there are ways to like mitigate that and draw additional ones. So you want to be drawing all the cards you can, get the objectives that you can. If you don't get objectives, you'll have powers. And so there's a balance there of take that isms. It seems okay. I'm not overwhelmed by it. It does seem super light. And then to get it, right, like shipping to Canada is an additional 18 euro. So this is like 60 bucks, 70 bucks for me. Not something that I would ever consider spending that much money on this game. But, you know, it seems cute enough, lightweight. I imagine it would be fine for a play, and then you'd move on. That finishes Friday, November 21st at 12:59 p.m. All right, next up, we have Dicey Devices, Mad Ambition. As a mad scientist, use your laboratory robots and trusty assistant, Igor, to annihilate your pesky peers. Okay, so it's like Space Base-esque. Some take that in there. I think this looks like it has potential. You're going to roll dice very Space Base-esque. You can assign it on like the 5 and the 2, or you can assign it on the 7, and then activate a bunch of stuff, creating a chain of things that you will activate, which is cool. You're also competing to gain new things from this center market, it looks like. I don't really like this roll doubles to get back in the game thing, though. I mean, you can pay 6 scrap to do it as well, but that probably feels pretty penalizing. Also, if you have a blast ray built up, you can try to murder other people. So a decent amount of take that in this. So you have to have a certain amount of sets to power up your death ray. And then if people will be targeting your lab to destroy your sets. So while you're engine building, you're also building up your death ray so you can incapacitate other people and slow other people down. So you can always activate one thing. I like that aspect. And then you roll your dice. You can bank dice for later. So if you're trying to activate big numbers, you can save it and hope that you roll those other stuff later. You can also save them for combat, because combat is just like rolling dice against each other. And your reward is either get the card or get scraps. You're building up your scrap. So you can purchase more cards, so you can activate more things, you can charge your laser, you can attack your opponents, then deploy additional bots in a slight area control style game. I was excited about this area control aspect. I'm less excited now. I feel like there's a lot of the take that in terms of the actions that I've zoomed in and looked on the cards are just sort of attacking each other. And so it'll be less building up your own engine, but more attacking other people in a very conflict-focused game. I don't think this will replace Space Base for me, whereas with the pitch, I thought it might be. It's 59 bucks, 83 Canadian, plus shipping to Canada is an additional 20 bucks. Yeah, $100 for this game. I think Space Base is fine enough. But if you really wanted a take that version of Space Base, then I would check this out. That finishes Friday, November 21st at 1 p.m. We're not going to cover this one, Vampire Survivors, the board game, because it did the $1 pre-pledge. Grey Fox Games has done that in the past for Last Light, and they've done it again. 1,000 new backers. Just curious to see how much the IP was driving it. I mean, probably a lot, but who cares? We're going to move on to a different IP. We got Doom, the Arena board game. 2 editions of the incomparable Doom franchise brought to the tabletop in a board game, Doom 1993 and Doom the Dark Ages. This is Modifius. Now, you've seen like 2D old art, but have you seen it in miniature form? Can you do a pixelated miniature? Is there a market for that? 3 15-minute rounds, brutal PvP combat, take control of the Doom Slayer, or command the hordes of hell in Doom, like heavy metal chess. What an incredible descriptor that is. Doom Guy arsenal cards, and then Demon arsenal cards. So it's two people, 2 versions, same huge guts, rendering the iconic pixelated aesthetic of the first game into amazing PvC miniatures. Same basic framework, wield weapons, and abilities pulled directly from each video game. Spill the most blood, best of 3 rounds. Victory isn't about the final kill, but the devastation you can rain down on your opponents. The first time you deal damage on your turn, you generate tempo, a key resource that charges devastating game-changing abilities to redefine the flow of battle. It pays to make your enemies hurt. At the end of each round, spend arsenal points to upgrade your forces. The Slayer unlocks deadlier weapons and abilities. Cool, I like that there's a progression. Doom Guy Enraged. Or Doom Guy. Such standout miniatures. Don't forget Shotgun Dude, Zombie Man, and Heavy Weapons Guy. Or could I interest you in Doom Slayer? Doomslayer or Doomslayer. Okay, so I talked a little bit about Doom, but my mic was off. Essentially, if you want, pretty basic smash 'em up, you can get it. The actions here seem basic. I think the thing here is the asymmetry. As the demon player, you can constantly be spawning new people over and over, and as the Doom guy, you are just trying to upgrade your weapons, etc., and activate your special abilities. It seems okay. Doesn't seem like there's that interesting a decision space. The map that they were using didn't seem that interesting either. You're just rolling dice, chucking at each other. Good subsidized shipping. It hits at around $100 Canadian total, which I was expecting more. It's 96 Canadian-ish. Oh, there is a rulebook. I missed the rulebook. I just watched the video, and I was mad about having to watch the video. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything in here that'll change my opinion of it. But yeah, fairly standard, not a huge decision space, just using your abilities to try to deal the most damage, constantly dealing damage to each other so that you can get points and use those points to upgrade. I like the upgrading aspect that will happen in the 3 rounds. But other than that, nothing too exciting here. And then on to Threshold, which I'm getting into. Threshold is a big open world game that's trying to be an MMO, a massive multiplayer online. You're going to level up from 1 to 40, and they say you can do this with a number of different characters. And that's how you can have endless characters. This is from Open Owl Studios, which brought you Mythwind and also brought you Stone Saga, and also brought you probably me not being the target audience for this game. But this looks the most interesting out of the ones that they have done so far, if I'm being honest. Does that mean I'd be very interested? I don't know. Mythwind I was totally not interested in, but yeah. Let's check out their how to play and see what's going on here. Move across the overworld map, visit towns, uncover secrets, choose your path, generic fantasy stuff. Engage in fast, tactical, card-driven combat on a hex grid map. Use your customized deck to strike, block, cast spells, or support allies. Okay, just generic fantasy fighting. Earn loot dice, craft, and upgrade your gear. Gain experience points. So standard fantasy. I like seeing standees. That might mean that there's a cheap version. Or it seems like they're all standees. I'm sure there will be a big box miniature expansion for all these different... I like the art in it, though. So much friggin' scrolling just through everything. This character seems the most interesting. You have to really manage powerful one-time abilities versus continual abilities. Feels like the most interesting minigame of what they put forward. Cool. So you're constantly building your deck over the course of your campaign. And there's a lot of deck construction as well, depending upon the skill points that you have. Each card will have a keyword, and then you're going to be doing that as you go through, it looks like. I doubt they're going to have a rule book as well, but we'll see. These are decent breakdowns of what their systems are going to be if you have overall knowledge of this style of game. Lucky for you, I do. I like this loot dice idea. That's cool, is you're building up these loot dice, and then you get to roll them all when you go to town to get either items or... Also cool system of having Lucent cards to upgrade the existing cards. You're gonna have to sleeve your cards, but all you monsters out there only work with sleeve cards. Yuck. Whether you want a quick supply run or an hours-long questing session, the overworld adapts to your time and style. No. No. That means there's a lot of make work. That's translation is a lot of make work quests, and some of your sessions will just be spent doing those instead of actually having fun like you want to. Quests can be fun. I've done a few of those in Iridia. Like Zach and I, we did that in an Iridia session because we refused to move forward in the story because we didn't want to reward someone for bad behavior. They're also like, listen, we're going to have a Discord that you can sign up and join a guild and you can role play in that guild and then be doing this game at the same time as other people, which I think is a really fun idea. You can play it on Tabletop Simulator. No rule book, huh? Oof. All right. Save $50 apparently. It's going to be $130 for this base game, 186 Canadian. For that price, I mean, I'd say just go wait for the Iridia reprint. No rulebook here, unless it's in the preview section. Shipping is going to be 22 to the US, 35 to Canada, 22 to Europe, or most places in Europe. Yeah, I mean, there's sort of a sketch of a game here. I don't mind the sketch of the game. I was going to be scrolling through, and then I realized, I'm going to be scrolling through a bajillion years worth of... I don't mind the sketch of the game. I just think it's not enough. I don't think it has hit the threshold to back it. I think if you really like Open Owl Studios and you like their open world design or their open concept stuff, this might already be an auto back. I think there's a lot of fans of the company. It does look interesting. I would want to see more how the combat would work. I really like that loot die system. I like a lot of the little tweaks and little things that they're throwing in. The slow level progression, the potential deck construction seems nice, but it's just not enough. Not enough. They're not showing me enough information here. And maybe that's why they haven't funded like all of their other projects. But if you are interested in getting this one, that finishes on the 21st at 3 p.m. All right, next up, we've got Garage Rock. Get your music aired from Johnny Law's pirate radio station, Treehouse, and then prepare for the Battle of the Bands. This looks very fun. There's some worker placement elements. You're just upgrading your stats. You're getting songs. It feels thematically very appropriate. Makes a lot of sense. The true VIP, the VIP All Access player lanyard, that anybody can be a VIP. Dry erase banners for your band's name. Great touch. This looks fun. I really love all the elements they're putting into this. Love this. You want to just be able to hand out a tuck box for everybody. Download the rulebook. Yes. Oh, this is the type of thing that reinvigorates me. So place a band member. You send a band member to locations to practice, write songs, upgrade skills, hustle for fans. So it's a worker placement aspect. You have 4 different workers, but they'll be band specific as well because you can upgrade them to make them even better. Promote, drop flyers, demo tapes, use pirate radio to crank up the hype, and then play a gig to earn money and fans by building skills and rocking stages. Drop cubes in the Treehouse Tower for one last explosive showdown to determine the ultimate Garage Rock champion. And whatever you've done over the course of the game is giving you more and more cubes. I'm excited about this one. Place one of your band members at one of the 4 action locations. Oh yeah, so action selection probably. If you have collected things, you can place flyers. You get the Rockstar ability for the member as well. Cool. And then you also get to play a gig at the end of your turn. Each location is going to have 2 actions, and so you can use a bike to perform both of those actions, or you just pick one of them. Oh, sweet. No, it is worker placement. And you can gain bonuses for being the first people to go there. I love that. I love that in a worker placement game. It incentivizes it. Your actions are likely going to be open, but those extra resources are always hugely beneficial in terms of flow. I love when games do that. That's great. Each band has the ability to write 6 total songs, 2 of each song type. Cool. So you're going to get songs that over the course of the game, you're going to practice and perform, etc. You can also upgrade those songs to give yourself additional fans, because it's recorded, and who doesn't love hearing a song that's been recorded being played live? This seems really fun. Oh, interesting. So you can choose when to play a gig, but you're going to forfeit your actions and sort of move on to the next one. Nice. And so there's that give and take of, do I want to recall my people quicker? Do I want to just work on sending my singer to everywhere that he needs to be to become a rock star? You need to have this many songs. You need to have this many skills. You can get this many fans, plus specific songs give you more fans. Oh, this is cool. You get a payout. This is where you can put your merch and your posters to get additional stuff. I love games where it's like chain this, change this. You want to get the resources. Cool. And you get additional stuff if you go earlier as well, because you're not getting the value from using the other action space. Cool. And then there's a cube tower as well, which you'll drop things out and it'll send it on the airwaves into specific neighborhoods. Thematically, that makes sense. And then you move up on those tracks. This is great. This is definitely great. I think this looks really fun. There's only a deluxe edition available. It's 111 Canadian, 79 US plus shipping. So it'd be like 140, 150 to get this game. Again, there are so many good Euro games out there. This one is really putting itself ahead because it has a fun theme. Feels like it'd be very simple to get to the table. Lots of little connector bits. The planned retail version won't include any of like the deluxeifications. If there is a retail version, that'd be sick. Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite interested in the deluxeified version of this. I think they're really going all out. I think it is nice. This is what Kickstarter is for. This should be doing so much better. This game looks great though. Like, this is definitely pick of the week material, for sure. Gets me very excited. I'm very, very happy right now. It's like giving me a nice boost, which is good after many hours of filming and reading rulebooks today. That finishes Friday, November 21st at 4 p.m. We're not going to talk about Mystic Lands, card crafting evolved from AEG, because AEG did decide to do the $1 pre-pledge. I don't care that it's AEG. I don't care that their $1 was like, hey, you get a shirt. It's not really a gameplay thing. Nobody really cares about shirts. Honestly, it's more of a detractor than anything. I don't want a crappy shirt. There's so many shirts. Any shirt that you get is not going to be good quality. You know what shirts I want? I want Into the AM shirts. Wasn't Into the AM shirt. Well, I just do the $1 just to get the Into the AM shirt. I don't know. It's going to come to friggin' retail as well with Mystic Lands. So like, no, thank you. We're also not covering Hack and Slash. It's just upsetting to me to see like a larger publisher do it. And you know what? Let's take a little deep dive. Let's see AEG. Let's see how that did compared to any other John D. Clare projects. We're sitting at 240,000 Canadian right now. Dead Reckoning is John D. Clare, right? Pledged, made $565,000. Doesn't quite seem like your Mystic Land is doing that well comparatively. What about Shake That City? Was Shake That City John D. Clare? Edge of Darkness expansion, 264,000 US, so even more with an expansion. Also, Hack and Slash is not getting anything as well because it did the $1 pre-pledge. So we're going to move on. We're moving on to this one. Movers and Shakers compete as ambitious railway magnates in the 19th century Bengal, racing to transport goods, secure contracts, and outwit rivals on the booming rail network. Sharp planning and bold moves will decide who shapes the future of Bengal's railway. Sure. Calcutta? Is it pronounced Calcutta? I thought it was Calcutta. Okay. I do like this right here. Download the rulebook tab on the side. That's nice. Black Magic insert. Yeah, they're so much better than Game Trace. Industrial Edition is €69. Okay. In partnership with the following partners. They're doing the thing. Oh, a little smiley face. Hee hee. Here's some FOMO for you. Tee hee. These prices are exclusive to this campaign. Prices will increase during the late pledge. Hee 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 hee. Screw you and your finances. Haha. Uh-oh. Costs are going to increase even though it's all pre-production. Hee hee hee. 2 intense rounds. Each player will play 6 action cards in total. So you get a bonus every time you play an action card. On your turn, you begin by selecting 1 action card from your hand, placing it in an open slot of your company board. Each slot represents a key decision for your growing enterprise, offering 2 possible company actions. You can only perform one of them, so think ahead, choose carefully to make the most of your turn. Slide the card down to activate the development action, slide the card up to activate the logistics action. Fulfill contracts linked to your company's assets and increase their value over the course of the game. Load as many crates as possible onto freight cars, both your own and those belonging to other players. One of the game's clever twists is that you can place your crates on any available freight card on the board. Okay, so you're loading up train spots. Each train spot can only have 3 spaces, but you can be comprised of whatever player you want, whatever crates you want, and then if you're pushing trains from the back, you're just, get out of my way, and just push things through. Sending trains that carry your crates, racing between the 2 cities as efficiently as possible, so you're just going back and forth, back and forth. Each crate you deliver, and each of your freight card earns you bonus rupees, which I think in the video, it showed what looked like a Legend of Zelda rupee symbol, which feels a bit like, did you investigate? You can play it on Board Game Arena. That's nice. Download the rulebook. Sick. You can see the drop-off locations for each spot. It's just a big circle track. I think the action selection system seems neat here. Cool. So a lot of these train games deal with stocks, where your value of the stock is times by the number of stocks that you have, and this is no different. You're going to be trying to increase 4 different asset values, and then you score victory points depending upon where on the track they are. What's kind of cool is this money system. You're trying to get up to 10 money. Every time you get up 10 money, you get an investment marker. And when you use an investment marker at the end of the round, you can take additional stuff. There's only 2 rounds though. So there's like a lot happening with these 2 rounds. You can also gain additional bonus points opportunities as you're going through the game. It doesn't matter who owns the freight car, but the key here is that you can't load more than 1 crate into the same freight car during a single turn. That's cool. So then it makes sense for there to be multiple freight cars. That was addressing one of my concerns. As I go through, I'm like, yeah, but what about, but what about, but what about? And I like when the rulebook immediately gives me the answer to my whatabouts. Whataboutism. I love it. Always been a fan. I think this is a really nice rulebook. I think this is an awesome rulebook, actually. Cool. There's also these shortcuts that can be taken, but you can't push a train into the shortcuts, which makes a lot of sense. And that's how you could disrupt somebody's plans. I can see that being potential there. Okay, so you are going to play a card in each of your card slots. So each round, you're going to play 6 cards. And then you're going to have 2 rounds for that. Okay, so a little bit more stuff going to happen. Yeah, but essentially, you're waiting until you get to the end. You're going to get bonus points for shipping all of your goods, trying to get all your goods and shipping them. No real bonus for, oh, okay, yeah, when each freight car arrives in the city, you increase its owner's performance. So you can be pushing up your performance track up here, which gives you additional bonuses. So it benefits you. Everything benefits you. People moving their trains because they want to move up the performance track, you can benefit by putting crates down and vice versa. Yeah, I think this one looks good. Again, it's very expensive for me in Canada, €69, 115 Canadian, and then shipping 5 for Europe. That's pretty nice. Or 60 for Europe. North America, so it'll be 130-ish. I think this one looks good though. Yeah, I think there's a lot of really interesting moving parts. I love the choices that you can make and take with who's controlling the trains, moving whichever train you want, putting crates in whatever train you want. Seems really cool. So if you're interested in that, check it out. That finishes on the 22nd at 1 p.m. Here we go. We're now in a nice zone. I mean, we're not going to cover this. Midway Solitaire. Oop, freaking Kickstarter. Midway Solitaire, Pacific War 1942, and Tarawara Solitaire. It's just 3 full-size war games in a compact form. I'm not the right person to assess these, but I'll leave them in the links if you want to check those out yourself. But we're not going to cover it. We're going to just move on. We'll cover this just quickly. This is Snippsnapper, the fast-rolling, tongue-twisting card game. Try our fast, loud, family-friendly card game. Race to shed your cards, ace the monsters with a magic spell, or face their antics. You're just playing cards in a row, and you're saying silly words. Everybody has to say the silly words, and you're playing the cards in a row. And they cost you €35 for this. The key here is that you're all saying silly things and you're going, as you're trying to throw cards in the middle, but like you're counting up with cards. You've all had a game that was, might be signed, my neighbor, not friend Yuval, that I hated. I absolutely hate it. And I really like that I hate it because then I can praise these other games without fear. But when this game comes out, if it does, Yuval was like, please don't rip on it too hard. And I was like, I'm going to rip on it really hard. And this seems like one of those games that like you either would really like or you think is really, really dumb. And for me, well, I'm the second one. That finishes Sunday, November 23rd at 3:59 a.m. We're moving on to this Darkest Doom. It hasn't raised much at all. The Kickstarter exclusive reprint and new expansion, a brand new expansion set in a dark fantasy world inspired by the 17th century Europe featuring anthropomorphic animals. The new expansion, Kickstarter, well, unfortunately, for all of you at home, I have many lovely patrons, okay? Many of them are quite lovely people. There is one who I tasked, Shardius, to play his copy of Darkest Doom and give me his thoughts. And what have I received? Inscrutable gifts from My Hero Academia, just reminding me that I have to wait for the dub. So unfortunately, thanks to Shardius, we don't get to cover this one. Nope, we're moving on. No, we're not. Darkest Doom was my pick of the week way back. I thought it looked really good. I still think it looks really good. I imagine the expansion is not necessary. It's very surprising to me that this isn't doing well at all. Like, it raised a bunch when it was funded, didn't it? Yeah, €358,000. So maybe all the people who got it. Yeah, I thought it looked cool. I remember that there are ways to upgrade your people. There are multiple win conditions. There's like a princess that you have to murder or save the life of. Oh yeah, High Priestess Elaine. You got to save High Priestess Elaine. I was pretty close. Priestess, basically the same. Oh yeah, there's multiple ways to win. I already said that, but you can turn evil and sacrifice the High Priestess as well, which is kind of cool. Yeah, the new expansion seems neat. Definitely not necessary. but you can pilot this big old dryad. And it becomes a little bit more of a modular board. The expansion itself is €75 though, but the core is still okay. €89 feels all right. I mean, 146 Canadian, then plus shipping going to be, 180 for me. But I remember thinking this looked cool. I am getting Uprising, so it kind of fills that big box, even though this isn't cooperative, right? Like, you want to save the High Priest, or you want to rise and become the new High Priest. So there's like a point system you can get by completing quests all across the map, and you raise your point system at the end of the 8 days. If none of the other win conditions have happened, you become the High Priest, or you kill Buddy, or you just accept that the High Priest is going to die and you try to kill everybody else. There's a way that you can use darkness and become corrupted. That's what these big minis over top of these little minis are. It's like you're corrupted and you're carrying that shadow over you. It's cool. It's really cool. I stand by my previous feeling of it, and it was one of like my favorite of the year that I remembered. And so like it's a campaign that I actively remember and I actually actively remember enjoying. And it's definitely an interesting one to check out. You can check out my previous coverage of it, and you can thank Shardius that I don't have an update. So everybody put in the comments, shame on you, Shardius. Shame on you. He's lucky I don't dox him. Yeah, I'm surprised that this isn't doing as well. I think it looks great. I think it looks like a really nice sandbox style game if you're looking for that. Shipping, yeah, 20. 24, 43 for the Essential Collection. Yeah, that makes more sense. 28 to EU countries, so 43. Okay, so it'd be 200. Still, an interesting game. I think very happy to see it back on Kickstarter. I would like to see it doing a bit better. So it finishes Sunday, November 23rd at 5:49 p.m. We're not coloring or covering Chronofiends, again, because it did the $1 pre-pledge. And so we're moving on to Zombie Princess and Haunted Mouse. I feel like this was just on GameFound, wasn't it? Or am I crazy? I might be crazy. Maybe I was just talking about it in the Rahdo trick-taking one. I'm sure glad I started this master link list. Zombie Prin. No, I must have just been talking about it in the Rahdo Trick Takers. This is Zombie Princess and Haunted Mouse, 2 horror card games, a trick-taking game about hunting zombies and looking fabulous. Oh, it's because it was like the Zombie Princess is the same as like what they did for Hearts. This is going to do for Spades. I've never played Spades, but it's essentially this an ordinary card game with some asymmetry to it. And then a card game of mice shedding fears for cheese. Sure, Bezier doesn't miss with their little card games, I find. So yeah, start each round with a unique rule and bid on how many tricks you think you can win. Okay, Haunted Mouse feels kind of like Scout as well. Zombie Princess is, a new take on Spades, like I said, card game with some asymmetry and some fancy powers. We talked about it in the R&R show when we were talking about Trick Takers on Rahdo's channel, but I'm not as partial to asymmetric powers in my trick-taking games because it's just a lot to keep track of, and I find the barrier for entry then just goes up. But I just feel like friggin' Bezier doesn't miss. I do think this is expensive because it'll be probably cheaper down the line. Rebel Princess, that's the Hearts version. Wait, there's a Little Mermaid promo princess in there. They took my likeness? Oh, it's not a core dancer. Sorry. I jumped the gun. You can mitigate your bad bids with Zombie Princess is another something. And so Haunted Mouse is very similar to Scout. You want to get rid of all your fears so you can get the more cheese. You only play cards that are adjacent to each other, so you can put things in your bait area to mitigate, to rearrange your cards, and other people can use the cards in your bait area. I think it's a neat twist. Yeah, so you can play sets, you can play runs. There are also bonuses for playing one of each suit, and playing a suited run, you can do special abilities. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to mitigate it. Oh, you want to get as much cheese. The sooner you go out, the more cheese you get. You want to get the most cheese as you can. I think it looks solid. It looks more interesting to me and more accessible to me than the Zombie Princess. But like 43 and then plus shipping, to get to Canada, it's $18. It's like a $60 Trick Taker game when I would want to pay 20, 25 for it. So I think you hold out because Bezier stuff comes into retail, but both look solid. Again, Bezier's small card game is really on point. That finishes Monday, November 24th at 10 a.m. We're not covering Bug Fight at all because it did the $1 pre-pledge. And we have only 3 more to cover. I've been doing this for a very long while. I cut out the long while for you all. But yeah, we're going to check this one out. Joyride. Full Throttle. It's a high-octane racing game for 2 to 6 players. Choose your racing line through a crowded city, trade paint on tight corners, and smash opponents into buildings, barriers, and each other, featuring expanded team mode, portals, and new cars, items, and maps. It's GTA 5-star. Will this dethrone Thunder Road? A ton of items. Mario Kart. Wait a minute. Was that Pawblart Mall Cop? I don't care. I don't care about anything. But is there an homage to Pawblart Mall Cop? Why is he... Wait, no, he wasn't on a Segway. He wasn't on a Segway. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. I want to choose my racer. Where's my racer? Drifter? Who cares? Delivery van? Who cares? Food truck? Who cares? Lowrider? Who cares? There he is in all his glory. Why is he not on a Segway? Pawblart Mall Plop. Plop, trop, trop, romp. Scromp, tromp, nop, snop. It's still fun to say. All right. How do you play? How do you really play? Come on, people. Did I miss it? I probably missed it, right? Phrase not found. Rules. It's the same core gameplay of Joyride. Didn't even know that was a thing. 20 tracks across 2 new maps. Portals to just teleport you from one side of the map to the other. I'm very disappointed though. I want to go digging for it, but I also, because it exists already, you want to move up your gears so you can roll more dice, smash into each other, cross first. Was Joyride here before as well? I'm not looking it up on Board Game Geek. That's on them. Don't want people to know how to play your game. Why should I care about it, right? Joyride was in episode 106. I don't remember it whatsoever. Probably didn't have a rulebook back then as well. It did! It did have a rulebook back then. Why do they not have this rulebook on the page? Oh, screw you, Joyride. Well, Chris of the past didn't hate it, but Chris of the present friggin' hates it. I'm done with that shit. Picked the wrong time to be at the end of the week. It finishes on the 25th at 3 p.m. Moving on. We got this one. The Ikusa Samurai Swords 40th Anniversary Edition will transform a classic into a true collector's piece. Upgraded components, striking new art, premium quality pieces, and more. Available only through this campaign. I've never played Samurai Swords before. Originally released as Shogun, and later Samurai Swords, is the final entry in the legendary Milton Bradley Game Master series. Yeah, I've never played Shogun at all, but I can see the box cover very viscerally. Wow, ton of minis. It's going to be pretty expensive. $200 for the full metal Koku. Don't worry, I already have the metal coins for Rising Sun. No big deal. I didn't even want them. It's because somebody backed out of the friggin' time capsule, time machine. Samurai Pledge 150 is the base game, and then if you want the add-on content, so additional dice and a playmat, you can add additional $50 on. That's a lot for a 40-year-old game, just if you love it. And clearly enough people do love it. Oh, Thomas Haber consulted on it. That's sick. He was at WSBG. Yeah, see, friggin' beautiful. We're updating the art, but the rules are classic. The rules exist. Why not have them readily available? Way to go, Renegade. Love you. Love you. Come kiss me. Come kiss me right on the mouth. Be the first player to gain control of 35 provinces. All players begin with the same number of provinces. You gain more for capturing them from your opponents. Will you recruit more military units? Will you hire the deadly ninja to assassinate your enemy? You decide. Then bid cleverly and position your military units skillfully. You need a hand of luck on your die rolls. Enemy military units and claim another province. A big old classic area control game. Spend your combat value to recruit new people. You're bidding for different privileges. Cool. I love blind bidding. Yeah, okay, this seems like it'd be fun. I mean, absolutely not going to spend this much money on it. It's nice that they're revisiting a classic. Nice they're doing a collector's edition. There will be a non-collector's edition that exists, and still does exist. Probably with cubes or something like that. Yeah, I like that some have specific requirements for building. You roll a bunch of dice. Roll your ranged units first, then your hand-to-hand attack. Yeah. I think it actually looks a lot better. There's a reason why it has stood the test of time and why it has been reprinted and why people like it. I certainly am not interested in spending $150 on it, but I can see the appeal. So that's quite nice. What's shipping like? I mean, shipping's reasonable, about what you'd expect, $15 or $25. Probably a bit subsidized as well. So if you're interested in that, that also finishes on the 25th at 3 p.m. And lastly, because we're not covering Punch Bowl, unfortunately, it looked kind of cute, like the actual physical look of it, but they decided to do the $1 pre-pledge, in which case, screw you guys. But we are going to cover Gone to Gaia, which my Patreon community has been talking a lot about. They've been very excited about it, and honestly, I hoped it wouldn't be this week, because I've already read too many rulebooks for my liking. But It is this week. It's going to finish on Tuesday. I could cut it if I did, but I'm not going to. Chris of the future will thank you as he's in the first week of rehearsals. But we got Gone to Gaia, Safeguard the Last Remnants of Humanity in Gone to Gaia, a sprawling cooperative roguelike campaign for 1 to 2 players. From Rose Gauntlet Entertainment. They're the people who did... What else did they do? Was it Icefaring Guard? Not at all. They did Keystone. Oh, they did Flock. They did Wild Gardens. Oh, okay. All stuff that I thought looked medium. So what's going to be different about this one? I guess we'll see. It's another one of those games where the miniatures don't matter whatsoever because you're just going to have the monsters as cards that shuffle around. You'll have a little skirmish runs as you go through roguelite campaigns. You pilot different delvers. You choose your characters, which ones you want, and then you'll unlock additional ones as you go through. Over 200 pages of narrative content. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. I like this as the randomization for each run. It seems very simple. Spawn your monsters and your big monster. Seems like there's going to be a decent amount of equipment that you get to choose and build in. Oof, $135 though. Yeah, people were comparing it to Threshold. And I think people were excited because there's a dating sim element that can be happening in here that they've been teasing. Emphasis on the teasing. Yeah, this one, the Love Amidst the Tide dating sim expansion. Really, we've only created the world full of deep and intriguing characters so you can date them. All the combat and danger is just there to heighten the stakes, but more importantly, heighten the stakes of the most important drama, romance. But surely dateable versions of all my favorite characters is too much to hope for, you say. Wrong! That impossible dream can be a reality if you simply add the dating sim expansion to your pledge. So stupid. It's just going to be narrative text. What is a dating sim, really? It's, not that I've played my fair share of them online. Who hasn't? You go and you smooth talk them and you go through the narrative choices and you slowly romance them. Maybe you take them on delves and they don't get injured. You can have a little interlude with them afterwards in the middle. Prototype rules. Yeah, let's get it. There's also preview chapter 1, sure. Warning contains spoilers. It's the first chapter. Get over yourself. Delves will alternate between going on a quest and visiting the town. Quests are combat focused, then town will be narrative. During quests, you'll gain many powers. At the end of your quests, you'll also lose them. However, you still have the opportunity to acquire a variety of permanent powers. Sure. Yeah, because there has to be a leveling up system in your... So Trudvang did a very similar thing, which bummed me out because I didn't realize that's what was going to happen. But you want some level progression as you go through, or else it'll be boring. It'll be really boring. You want to be constantly upgrading yourself, and then at the end of it, you take it all away and you have some little permanent buffs, right? That's what Gone to Gaia is going to be doing. I like this. The world can be cruel. Go with the interpretation that is worse for the delver. Oftentimes, rule books will say, just do whatever's nicer for you, whatever you want. I like where it's specifically, no, be hard on yourself. Different types of damage, light, medium, heavy, 1, 2, and 4. There are also ways to double the base damage with each damage type by purchasing products from the shop in the bird's nest. That's cool. They all might counterattack. You'll roll the dice to see if they counterattack, shows its health and its attack, drops a minion part, gain an XP, very clear iconography and a layout here. Cool, when you're gaining your XP, you can level up your gauntlet, your battery, your harvester. All of them do different things. Yeah, this seems fun. I love that the friendly symbol is a heart symbol. We know why that is. We know why that is. You could click on the preview to get a sense of the writing and the passage. Standard intro to a fantasy realm. You climb a large rock to escape the nest, not only to find that it wasn't a rock at all, it was a soul hunter. Soul ranger. Sorry, soul hunter. The gatekeeper from Atmosphere. How inspired. If you lose, they swarm you and everything goes back. Reset the quest and try again from the start of the wave. You got this. Way to go. See what the town visit's like. Ooh, Dr. Ira's treating my wounds. You know who you're going to be romancing first. It's going to be Dr. Ira for sure. Yeah, you get a little choose your own adventure. I like this. As Xavier Wise Eyes, different colors. Don't friggin' talk to me, you creep. Big old weirdo creep. Simple, light, fine enough. I could see myself playing this and enjoying it solo. It's just so expensive. You don't need these minis because you have the cards themselves. The minis will probably make it harder to see the information on the cards. But yeah, even just to get this, for me, it'd be 200 Canadian plus shipping. 19 or 14, 24, all in that realm. But like $220 for this seems okay. I think the conversation and the choices that you got to make in a choose your own adventure style game were fun. They weren't completely intuitive. You know, your opinion of someone could go down and you could waste your time with making somebody's opinion go down and then not get to do anything. And I think that's real ramifications of like a choose your own adventure. And so that's fun, that like if you tried to help the technician and you didn't just go get them a drink, you your opinion would just go down. They're just like, I got this, okay? Stop trying to friggin' mansplain to me how to fix this thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's very expensive. You need to reach a confidant rank with an NPC, and then you can flip to the characters page in the dating sim book. You make choices through the date, including a romance dial, and then you get to add stuff like a special weapons deck. That's very funny. Marks your relationship on the gossip mill section, which may affect future events. Very silly. Wow. She wanted to give me an intricately crafting mechanical flower. I had a bunch of leftover metal shavings. Some of them looked like petals, and they reminded me of you because you're also beautiful and covered in metal most of the time. Okay, very fun. This is an auto get. If you're getting Gone to Gaia, you need to be getting it. Do I like it? I love it. It's extraordinary. How'd you make this? I'm gonna go with it's extraordinary. How'd you make it? Yeah. Samantha lights up. Oh, it's nothing. I just shaped the shavings with a grinder and then fused them to a gear using a blowtorch. Increase the dial by 2. I'm winning this dating sim. Okay. Get ready to see. There might be one more Riz God. Rizgod. The man, the myth, the legend up in here. Call me a Kriz God. Are you busy? I haven't taken a day off in ages, and I was thinking maybe we could do something together. Maybe we could check out Tomlin's Cafe and Bar. I've never been before, but my customers tell me it's the nicest restaurant in town. You agree? And Samantha says, great, 2 seconds. She takes a dirty rag and tries to rub some of the oil from her jumpsuit. This does not succeed. Okay, ready. Now you could say, are you really planning to go to a public restaurant wearing that? You could say, maybe you should have a shower and change into some clean clothes first. Tomlin probably won't like it if you get grease on his stuff. I don't mind waiting. Continue number 6. Trying to get her in the shower, you perv. Let's go. I mean, like, clearly B is the answer. But if you're going to be dating the mechanic, okay? If you're dating the mechanic, you should know that she's a hard worker. And what do you want her to do? It's your first date, and you're going to say, why don't you take a shower first? Like, get the grease off of you? Are you kidding me? Who raised you? Accept the person for who they are. I knew you'd be game increased by 2. Sam turns the sign in front of the shop to close. You head to Tomlin's. When you arrive, though, Tomlin takes one look at Sam and says, No, you can't come in here dressed like that. This is a fine dining establishment. Good day. I'm sorry. Do we have to pretty woman Tomlin right now? This Tomlin piece of garbage? You fire right back. Do you even know where you source your ingredients, Tomlin? Delvers. Delvers get them. And you know who manufactures the suits Delvers use? Her, you stuck-up jerk. Tomlin bristles with anger and declares you both to be boorish barbarians unworthy of my art. It's several minutes back and forth before you realize Sam has left. Okay, well, I wouldn't have. Don't like that. You chase after her. You say, that guy's such a twit. Can I walk with you? Sam hastily wipes away a tear and says, okay. Tomlin made Sam cry, and I'm going to f***ing end him. Okay? I'm going to go to his shop at night. I'm going to burn it down. I'm going to take my Delver suit and I'm going to poison his ingredients one by one. I'm going to take the spinal fluid from all of those chrysalis spiders and inject them into his meat. Then I'm going to call the Delving Health and Safety Board and I'm going to get his place shut down. Then when Tomlin's out on the street begging for scraps, I'm going to kick him in the face with my Delver suit because he made Sam cry. And then I'm going to send him to Sam. I'm going to crunch him up into a little ball of metal, and we're going to turn him into an ornament of my suit. Don't come for my mechanic, okay? Sam is walking briskly, her face a stone mask. Ask her what she's working on at the moment. Tell her about the things you've seen in the tide. Here's the thing. I'm not going to bombard her with questions. Don't put the onus on her. She's in her feelings. So what you got to do is you just got to talk. You just got to talk and you got to loosen. You just got to be like, it's everything. It's okay. It's cool. It's normal. It's chill. It's like whatever. So we're going to tell her about the things that we've seen in the time. As you regale her with the vivid descriptions of creatures that live under the mist, you notice her starting to loosen up. Increase by 2. Okay, we're getting back. We're back to 0. Continue at 11. Although it is unfortunate that the correct one was to tell her to shower and not accept her for who she was. Because Tomlin's a piece of shit. Because this could go to 12 and 13, and now we're at 12. So I don't have a perfect dating run here, but you know what? I'm accepting a person for who they are, and I think that maybe matters a little bit more than your fancy image, okay? Food's food. Put it in your mouth hole and choose. And Tomlin can just shut his goddamn opinions. If I wanted Tomlin's opinions, I would beat them out of him. Anyway, I'm going to ask her about her family. Sam gives you a faraway smile. Increased by 2. Sick. My dad was a brilliant engineer and machinist. He built the machine shop himself, along with all the tools in there. I grew up in that shop, so it's full of childhood memory. Even though he passed, when I'm in there working with his tools, it still feels like he's with me. Samantha stops talking for a while, but the silence is comfortable. Of course it is. My mom was a delver, but she died on a mission when I was 8, so I don't remember her much. Dad told me a lot of stories about her. She was really brave and amazing fighter. Like you. Sam, stop it. Please. Please, no, continue. Keep going. Keep going. Tell me more. Growing up, everyone expected a lot of me. That was hard, but not as hard as how much I expected from myself. How much I still expect from myself, you know? You know what that feels like, I bet. I'm sorry. Here are the 2 options. Sometimes it feels like the fate of everyone I know is on my shoulders. I didn't know your mom was a delver. It probably won't be too long now until the tide claims me too. I'm sorry for making this about me. It's just that I can't stop thinking about it. And that's the one? That's the one that we're supposed to do to increase it? What the hell? Well, I'm going with my gut. I can tell there's something special about you. You can really make a difference. I think that's why I like you so much. Samantha suddenly kisses you and you see stars. Yeah, she does. Afterwards, you walk her home. Of course. I'm not going to scare her. Okay, and also I probably would have been able to have a bit more of a profile on Samantha about what she liked, having interacted with her up to this point. To be fair, I'm going in a bit blind. Still think I'm doing well, even though apparently I'm doing quite poorly according to the game. Adador, she embraces you. Let's do this again sometime soon, I hope. I haven't been keeping track, but I think my target is 5 or lower. Sam is unimpressed. You can either try again or claim the other confident reward. Or try again. What are you going to do? The same date? Are there different dates? This is a bullshit conclusion. Boo! Boo! Gain Samantha's hammer, rank 2 to an equipment slot. If you want to, your hero's now dating Samantha. Record this on your campaign sheet in the Gossip Mill section. You don't have to be dating, but you could be. Now, can you be dating everybody? That's what I want to know. And the answer better be yes. I don't. That was a fun diversion. I'm upset with the result that you could redo it. Take that out of it. Garbage. And I want to know if I can date everybody. That's important. They do say you can romance a monster, so don't know why they're saying Sam's a monster, but even still. I think it's nice updates, nice stuff that they're bringing forward. This really gives a sensation of what the game is going to be like, and certainly a fun thing to spend some time with. That's all I really want to do with it. I've spent my enjoyment with it, and I don't really care about it moving forward. But it was a nice light-hearted fantasy genre, and that dating sim idea was very fun. I hope a lot of games move forward with that. So that finishes also on the 25th at 3:30 p.m. Definitely pretty fun. And then we aren't covering Punch Bowl. That's it! That is it for the week. Now, every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting, and the pick for you being the thing I think if you get, you will regret it the least. But before we do, I'm going to go through and do a little grunt down to remind me of what has come before. Very long week on my part. Oh, we made it. Now I have to pack and clean my whole house and edit this video. Anyway, that's not important. You don't care about that. You just care about my sounds, the sounds that I make, the sweet, sensual sounds of the dating sim are incoming right now. You're not going to get that thought out of your mind, are you? Here we go. Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. Yeah. War. Nah. Absolutely not. Nah. Yeah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. War. Nah. Yeah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. And absolutely not. So a long week of a lot of complicated rule books to go through, but there were a couple in there that I am happy with, and it holds true. I'm really happy with this as my pick for me. Garage Rock seems very fun. It seems like a very fun Euro game. This one, I'm calling it now, is going to be underrated. It's going to be a hidden gem. I think it looks really solid. Not going to be too complex. Going to give you that fun sensation of moving up a track. The theming here is great. Yeah, I think this is the most excited I am for all the games. And then the pick for you is going to be Movers and Shakers. If you were thinking about this one, I think the action mechanisms are going to provide a lot of thinkiness, a lot of AP, a lot of consideration, a lot of complexity is going to happen here. But I think it's all going to work out in a really interesting way. there's enough things going on, enough benefits from doing everything, and ways to benefit your opponents. I think this will work at higher player counts best as well. So yeah, those are the picks. Those are the picks for the week. Again, thank you so much for being here, tuning in week after week. I appreciate it. And without you, and specifically my patrons, this Crowdfunding Countdown wouldn't exist. It just wouldn't. It took my whole day, really the entire day, and I still have to edit it. But yeah, so I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you, liking, subscribing, sharing the video, all that wonderful stuff, because you're wonderful people. Unless you don't do that, in which case, well, I hate your stinking guts. That's it. I gotta sign off. I got nothing else. But don't forget that my name is Chris George, and I am supposed to say something here. I don't have a catchphrase, so it's very awkward to finish videos. But thank you for sitting through the entire history of my Survivor experience, except it isn't, because I haven't talked about Survivor South Africa, and I haven't talked about Survivor Australia, okay? So here's the thing. Survivor Australia